Hello there, I hope you're doing well. I'm about to show you a little film clip from a longer video that I did earlier today, where I talk about now in this video clip about TRs, training routines, specifically the upper indoctrination TRs, which are number 6 until number 9. I do hope you find that interesting, and yeah, do enjoy. You got now the upper indoc TRs, upper indoctrination, which is beautiful. Indoctrination, yeah, the whole Scientology is indoctrination. Training routine number 6 to 9 emphasizes the student's ability to control people and situation, to control people. That's right. Now you will see it starts with TR6 and here's TR4. Where's TR5? Well, TR5 was a training routine that Hubbard had originally, and then he removed it. I mean, it was removed way before my time, so I don't even know what that drill entailed, what it was all about. It was gone when I did the TR's objectives. So now here it is about body control. TR6, body control. The student moves the coach's body around a room. In the first half of the routine, the student steers the coach by silent actions. In the second half, the student uses verbal commands such as walk over the wall. Each successful verbal command must be acknowledged. So, in the first part, you are literally standing there, and then you've got your coach, and you just hold the coach and just move around the room. Move around, stop, turn a little bit, move, and you just learn basic controlling a body and how to, the coach would not resist at all. It doesn't resist whatsoever, because that will come a bit later. You will find it always done within a gradient sort of way, and it always becomes a little bit more difficult, and using also a drill that you've done before and combining it and making it thus a bit more difficult, a bit more complicated. So the first part, you just walk around until you feel comfortable. Okay, you can move, like you don't have any problem with actually touching a person and moving the person around, right? Until you don't have a problem with that, and the coach feels like, yeah, he does it well. And then after that, you stand at the wall. So the wall is at your back, and then opposite you is another wall, and then the commands start. You see, before you had the questions of, do birds fly? Do fish swim? So these were questions, and now you start with commands. You say, look at that wall, thank you. Walk over to that wall, thank you. Once the person is on the other side, touch that wall, thank you. Turn around, thank you. And then it starts again. Look at that wall. Thank you. Walk over to that wall. And it goes on for hours and hours and hours and hours. So here you learn to control, physically to control a person, and to give commands. So that's why it's called body control as well. Okay, TR7, high school indoctrination. This routine is similar to TR6, except that the coach resists the student verbally and physically. The student may use physical contact to enforce a command. The routine continues until the students can fully control the coach despite attempts to stop control. Okay, so here you take TR0 bull bait, where you push the buttons, right? As well as the physical possibilities to not do as the command says. So I say, look at the wall, and he just closes his eyes and goes like that. And then I might repeat it. I repeat the ordinary command, look at the wall. I repeat the ordinary command, look at the wall. And if the piece stays like that, you have to literally physically go there and go like that. If the coach turns away his head, you need to literally physically have him do the command that you tell him to do, whether he wants to do it or not. And then once the person does it, you say, thank you. And then you keep going. And then the person can use bull baiting. Says, oh, you smell, you're stupid, whatever. Whatever you can just imagine, or he will say, oh my God, look at over there. And then tries to run away. And you cannot allow him to escape the course room. He cannot leave the room. So you have to chase after him, take him back to him, and then, keep going. And remember, this is regardless of if this is a man or woman, right? So you have to use the same physical force that you would use for a man as you would than you would use for a woman. You're not gentler with the woman. You have to be just as rough to be able to get her to do whatever you're telling her, the command, right? So you learn to completely and utterly control your the other person, right? And this can get very physical because you're standing, you know, you're not sitting on a chair. Remember, when you're sitting in a chair, you're not allowed to leave the chair. But standing, you can do anything. Now, I cannot remember, but I'm pretty sure it said in the course spec you're not allowed to throw things. Like, I don't think you're allowed to throw objects or like a chair. I think that is excessive. Now, this might actually happen in an actual session, because later on you do sessions where you do these drills, right? So because now at this point we are learning the drills to become very on a very good level, you know, so that afterwards we can actually do a session where we do these drills, right? Now this sort of thing can happen, but I'm pretty sure it said during the actual drills you're not allowed to throw things. At least I don't remember actually me ever having thrown anything. You know, having been the coach as well doing these drills. But yeah, it can get pretty intense and messy. TR8, tone 40 on an object. Now this is the most infamous one. The student repeatedly commands an ashtray to stand up and sit down, acknowledges each action. Although the student holds the ashtray throughout the exercise, the goal is to cause the ashtray to move purely by tone 40 intention. Tone 40 is, very briefly to explain, you have a scale of human emotions where it goes plus 40 to 0, which is body death, and then minus 40. So to conditions below physical body death, right? And plus 40 is tone 40, because this is the tone scale, right? The scala of tones. And tone 40 is the highest possible. It's the highest possible you can be, right? So you have to do it in tone 40. And it doesn't split up the different drills, but you have literally, like on the lower TRs, you sit on a chair, and on the other chair is literally an ashtray. I think it has to be a glass ashtray. I think it said so. In any case, I always had a glass. Well, why can't I say glass properly? A glass ashtray in front of me, very heavy. And I think the first drill is you have to think the commands. You think to yourself, stand up. Thank you. Sit down on that chair. Thank you. But you have to think it. I don't think you actually say it. And then the second part of it is that you actually say it. You know, you actually say it aloud, stand up, thank you, sit down on that chair, thank you. And you keep going like that. And then you have, obviously, your coach watching, make sure you're doing it correctly and so on and so forth. And then I think the next drill will be the same. And then he will try to distract you. He will say, what are you doing? Why are you talking to an ashtray? He will hurl abuse at you, swear at you, do bull baiting. And you just have to ignore him completely. It's just you and the ashtray, and that's it. Nothing else matters. And you just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then the next drill is you have to shout at the ashtray. You have to shout at it as loud as you can. And I'm not going to shout in this microphone because I do want to save your eardrums in case you're hearing it with headphones. But you literally shout as loud as you physically can. Stand up! Thank you! Sit down on that chair! Thank you! You do it as loud as you can. And as I recall, the whole purpose of it is to show that using tone 40 is much more effective than actually shouting. That volume doesn't mean that a person will actually abide your commands. Although life has shown me, particularly work in the kitchen, that shouting certainly gets things done. But anyway, that is the drill. Yeah, so that can be quite weird and strange, particularly for new Scientologists, like people who have just come in and they're just doing the introductory courses, and then they see somebody shouting at an ashtray. That can be quite awkward. And now at TR9, tone 40 on a person. As in TR6, which is the body control bit. As in TR6, the student moves the coach around a room with verbal commands. So look at the wall, thank you. Walk over the walls, thank you. Touch the wall, thank you. Turn around, thank you. The coach resists, and the student must use a combination of smooth physical control and unspoken intention to make the coach obey. The routine continues until the student can maintain exact intention despite resistance. So now you basically do TR7, but you use tone 40. Oh, darlings, and please do hit the like button if you liked this thing that I just did. If you find my way of talking about this sort of stuff, my own little stories and explaining the Scientologies, please leave a subscribe. And yes, have an excellent day. Do enjoy. And goodbye.